It was an ordinary autumn morning in Los Angeles, the kind where the sun's warm rays met the cool, crisp breeze of the early hours. Arnold Schwarzenegger, the iconic actor, philanthropist, and former governor of California, was on one of his routine bike rides through the bustling streets of Venice Beach. These rides were more than just exercise. They were Arnold's way of staying grounded, connecting with his thoughts, and observing the city he loved so dearly. Dressed in a simple black jacket, gray athletic pants, and his signature sunglasses, Arnold pedaled past coffee shops, street performers, and early morning joggers. His route took him along a familiar path, one that allowed him to witness the vibrancy of LA life up close. But as he turned a corner, something unusual caught his attention. On the edge of the bustling sidewalk, a man sat hunched over on a weathered bench. His clothes were worn, and his face carried the marks of hardship, deep lines etched by time and struggle. Next to him lay a faded duffel bag and a cardboard sign that read, "Homeless veteran, anything helps." Arnold slowed his bike and stopped a few feet away. His gaze lingered on the man, who seemed lost in thought, oblivious to the world rushing past him. Arnold felt a familiar pang in his chest. Growing up in post-war Austria, he had seen firsthand what hardship looked like, and he knew the price of freedom. Veterans held a special place in his heart, and seeing one reduced to this state stirred something deep within him. Arnold approached the man with cautious respect, his towering figure casting a shadow over the bench. "Good morning," he said, his Austrian accent adding warmth to his greeting. The man looked up, startled at first, but then nodding politely. "Morning," he replied, his voice hoarse and tired. "What's your name?" Arnold asked as he sat down on the bench beside him. "Mike," the man said after a moment of hesitation. "Mike Johnson." Arnold extended his hand with a smile. "Nice to meet you, Mike. I'm Arnold." Mike gave a faint smile, clearly recognizing him. "Yeah, I know who you are. Hard not to." Arnold chuckled softly. "Well, Mike, you served in the military, didn't you?" He gestured toward the sign. Mike nodded, his gaze dropping to the ground. "Yeah, Iraq. Came back in one piece, physically at least. But you know, it's tough. VA helped for a while, but..." He trailed off, his voice cracking slightly. "I couldn't keep a job. Lost my house, my family. It all just fell apart." Arnold listened intently, his expression serious but empathetic. "Mike," he said after a pause, "you've been through more than most people can imagine. You don't deserve to be out here like this. I can't fix everything, but I promise you this. You won't be sitting on this bench tomorrow." Mike's brow furrowed with skepticism. "What do you mean?" "You'll see," Arnold said with a reassuring smile. He reached into his pocket and handed Mike a $100 bill. "For now, get yourself a warm meal. I'll be back tomorrow." True to his word, Arnold returned the next day, but this time he wasn't alone. With him were representatives from local veteran support organizations, a social worker, and even a small moving truck. Mike watched in disbelief as Arnold introduced him to the team. "This is Mike," Arnold said, placing a hand on the man's shoulder. "He's one of our heroes, and we're going to help him get back on his feet." The first step was getting Mike into transitional housing specifically designed for veterans. It wasn't just a shelter, it was a comprehensive program offering therapy, job training, and medical care. Arnold stayed with Mike throughout the process, ensuring he felt supported every step of the way. "You're not alone in this," Arnold told him. "There's a whole team behind you now." Over the next few weeks, Arnold made regular visits to check on Mike's progress. He brought him new clothes, helped him set up a bank account, and even invited him to join a fitness program at a local gym. "Working out isn't just for the body," Arnold said during one of their sessions. "It's for the mind too. It'll help you focus and rebuild your confidence." Mike began to change. He attended therapy sessions to address his PTSD and worked with career counselors to update his resume. Slowly but surely, he began applying for jobs. Each small success, a completed therapy session, a positive job interview, gave him a renewed sense of purpose. One day, Arnold surprised Mike by inviting him to a special event. It was a charity gala aimed at raising funds for homeless veterans. Arnold wanted Mike to share his story with the attendees, knowing it could inspire others and shed light on the challenges veterans face. At first, Mike was hesitant. Public speaking wasn't something he had ever done, let alone in front of a room full of influential people. But Arnold's encouragement gave him the confidence to step onto that stage. The night of the gala, Mike stood behind the curtain, nervously adjusting his tie. Arnold stood beside him, offering words of reassurance. "Just speak from the heart, Mike. That's all you need to do." When Mike finally stepped onto the stage, the room fell silent. He began to speak, his voice trembling at first but growing stronger with every word. "A year ago, I was sitting on a bench, thinking that my life was over," he said. "I thought the world had forgotten me. But then someone stopped. Someone cared. That someone was Arnold Schwarzenegger." The audience listened intently as Mike shared his journey, his struggles, his fears, and the hope that Arnold had reignited in him. By the time he finished, the room was filled with applause, some attendees wiping tears from their eyes. The impact of that night rippled far beyond the gala. Donations poured in, funding new housing programs and job training initiatives for veterans. Inspired by Mike's story, several attendees even volunteered to mentor veterans in their own communities. As for Mike, he continued to thrive. He landed a job at a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping veterans transition back into civilian life. He also became a motivational speaker, using his platform to advocate for those who felt forgotten and invisible. Arnold, meanwhile, launched a nationwide campaign to address veteran homelessness. He traveled across the country, visiting shelters, meeting with policymakers, and raising awareness about the systemic issues that left so many veterans without support. Years later, Mike and Arnold's paths crossed again at the opening of a new Veterans Resource Center. The building was a state-of-the-art facility, equipped with counseling rooms, job training workshops, and even a fitness center. Mike, now a respected figure in the veteran community, was invited to cut the ribbon alongside Arnold. As they stood side by side, Arnold looked at Mike and smiled. "You've come a long way, my friend." Mike nodded, his eyes glistening with emotion. "Thanks to you, Arnold. Thanks to you." The crowd erupted in applause as the ribbon was cut, marking the beginning of a new chapter for countless veterans. Arnold and Mike's story became a beacon of hope, proving that with compassion and determination, even the most insurmountable challenges could be overcome. Their journey served as a reminder to the world. One act of kindness can ignite a chain reaction of change, touching lives in ways we may never fully understand. Arnold's efforts didn't stop there. Following the success of the Resource Center, he collaborated with other influential figures to fund even more initiatives. These included mobile health units, mental health crisis hotlines, and legal aid programs specifically tailored for veterans. Mike, now deeply involved in these initiatives, often joined Arnold at events and fundraisers. Together, they became a powerful duo advocating for veterans' rights and well-being. Their shared mission inspired others, leading to a surge in volunteerism and donations nationwide. In one particularly memorable moment, Arnold visited a high school to talk about his efforts to support veterans. To his surprise, Mike joined him on stage, sharing his story with a younger audience. The students listened intently, their eyes wide with admiration. By the end of the event, several teenagers approached them, expressing their desire to volunteer and make a difference. As the years went by, their story was documented in books and films, ensuring that their message of hope and resilience reached future generations. Arnold's unwavering commitment to making a difference proved that even the smallest actions could create lasting ripples of change, inspiring countless others to follow in his footsteps. Their shared legacy became a cornerstone for future discussions on veteran welfare and the importance of community involvement. From government policies to grassroots initiatives, the impact of their work could be felt across the nation. Arnold and Mike's bond was more than a partnership. It was a testament to the power of empathy and action, reminding the world that no one should be left behind. Even after Arnold stepped away from public life, the programs he helped create continued to flourish. Schools integrated lessons on veteran appreciation into their curriculums, and communities around the country rallied to provide support for their local heroes. Mike, now a prominent advocate, became the face of many of these efforts, dedicating his life to ensuring that no veteran felt forgotten or abandoned. Through their combined efforts, they not only changed individual lives, but reshaped how society viewed and treated its veterans. The story of Arnold and Mike became a legend of modern compassion, proving that even in the busiest corners of a city, a single act of kindness can light the way for millions.